on the project. We applied for that extension, and an extension was granted for all disaster projects for that particular disaster, essentially statewide, till 2020. So that extension came through even longer than what we had even requested at that time. But I wanted to touch base with you guys. Since that meeting, we have been obligated on 4 of the 5 requests that Dickinson County has been involved in. All 3 of the joint drainage districts, 1, 2, and 3 with Osceola County have been obligated. And actually the check should be in the bank there with you guys from FEMA for that portion of the dollars. So, so then one of the larger drainage districts that Osceola isn't involved in, which is Joint Drainage District 61, is a much larger project with FEMA. And the feedback that we're getting from FEMA is essentially there's 44 projects statewide that exceeded the $1 million request number, and 3 of those have been obligated statewide as it relates to this disaster. So still waiting obligation on a Drainage District 61. The only reason that's pertinent to this conversation is essentially the original plan was to package those projects together to get some economy on one contractor. That would help us with grant administration on the back end, project consistency with contractors and whatnot. So since then, there's no time horizon for Joint Drainage District 61. So the conversation that Jeff Rose and I had was, let's see if you guys would be interested in proceeding in the drainage districts that we do have obligated at this time. For this particular reason would be Joint Drainage District 1, 2, and 3 with Osceola County, and then there'd be a solo drainage district with Dickinson County that we would be proceeding and packaging together as a project. So estimated costs are in the engineering report. Just to remind you guys that between FEMA and the state of Iowa, they cover 85% of the costs of the repairs. The remaining costs would be distributed to landowners per the classification schedule that they have in order to get this fully funded. The numbers that I provide on the report are estimates. That's my construction estimate. And then that 85% number is essentially extracted from that. The actual dollar amount that gets paid from FEMA and the state would be reflective of the actual contract number that we get for bids. So that's all adjusted accordingly based on how we receive bids and the work comes in. So I guess today what I would ask is if there's some interest in potentially proceeding with setting a public hearing for the repair project of Joint Drainage District 1, 2, and 3 with Osceola County, with the expectation that we would bid that after that public hearing and start work this spring on that on the repair projects. Any questions on any of that?
Anybody here got any questions? Anybody interested in setting a time and a place? How far out do we gotta go?
Is it 40 days out that we have to have notification for this one, or can we do it sooner than that?
I have it at least 20, but it, yeah, I have it at least 20, which I would put it as February 24th at 9 o'clock.
And we would just have it, the public hearing would just be over a Zoom call then, like we have in the past? We wouldn't meet anywhere?
I think that would be okay to you.
You okay with that? We just.
Somebody want to make a motion for that?
Morrison moves.
It's moved to that time and date. Do I have a second?
Schulte support.
Schulte support. Any more discussion?
Just making everybody aware, so this will be for joint 1, 2, 3 DNO. I don't know the time frame for each one, so on our notice, that we do have, that John had sent to us, which I'm just, seeing with our county attorney and assistant county attorney reviewing that, we would just put it as proceeding after the previous meeting, so that way we're not overlapping and having to stop one and start another, if that's okay with you guys and our assistant county attorney.
Looks like everybody here is in agreement with that.
John, are you okay with that? Okay.
So there's a notice that has to be sent out and in the paper, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I have that notice,
Okay.
once I get it approved, and I'll edit it with just a couple other things, and then I'll get it sent over to you.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you.
Any other discussion? If
Our
not,
meeting, we'll talk about DD-19 after Osceola gets off, so that. I'm done, sorry.
if not, we have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Anything else? If not, I would take a motion to adjourn.
Nothing further here.
Schulte, I'll make that motion.
Make the motion.
I have a motion and support to adjourn at this time. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Rochelle, you guessed that pretty darn close.
For once. Usually that never happens. The way my day's been going, I'm shocked.
Shall we start getting up there, right? 'Cause it would take us that long to get to our feet.
Let's rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Loring. Here. Mr. Schulte.
Here.
Mr. Vanderhill.
Here.
Mr. DeBoer.
Here.
Mr. Helmers is here. Consider approval for January 13th, 2026 agenda.
Change.
I don't have any.
Motion.
Have a motion and second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. January 2, 2026 minutes. Everybody get a chance to look at those?
I'll make a motion for January 2 minutes.
Have a motion. Support. And support. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss closing courthouse when it's inclement weather. My favorite discussion.
The only question I have there is it up to us to make that, or should each employee make up their own mind? Because if we tell them, that kind of puts us on the hook. If we tell them when they can and can't do it.
Well, I guess my point were you here last week? Was if we tell them to go home. Yeah, I don't know what do we want to do. minutes.
Um,
And if they go home, is it paid or unpaid?
Did you guys see Jack's policy
Yep.
that he
Yep.
emailed out the other counties have used?
Corey's here, he probably has the first inkling of what's gonna happen up there, or should he be included in the discussion?
yeah.
For the weather report.
Let's put it all on
What
his
are your
shoulders.
thoughts?
My recommendation, I guess, just the safety of everybody. The only one that really should be traveling around is probably me at that point, if there's no travel advice, just to make sure what's going on. That day, if we're talking like December 18, with that sporadic wind, snow, squalls, I guess after the first accident by Ashton, the other EMs, as in Sioux County and O'Brien, were telling National Weather Service that, this is like a blizzard in a sense. So they didn't put out any more warnings, which they have to meet criterias, which is fine. I think we make an internal decision, if we're gonna close down because it's not safe for people to be out. My recommendation would be up to the people here at the courthouse. They can totally stay for the rate, unless they live in town. Going outside of town wasn't safe that day one bit, with multiple accidents, even people calling 911 on Highway 9 saying they can't see nothing, is the road closed? They're just really chaotic in a sense. But, you're in a warm building here at the office. If we close it to the public so they're not forced to come in, that's probably the best. But, until travel conditions improve, then, especially outside of town, then go.
Does that make us liable if they're here and we tell them they have to go home? Does that make us liable?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say you have to go home. Like I say, you're in a warm, safe building. There's probably stuff to do until that travel conditions improve. If the courthouse closes, it said in Jack's request or whatever, his paperwork that said full-time employees get paid for the rest of the day. So I wouldn't push anybody out of the door because it is a safe building, as travel conditions are, no travel advised, travel conditions are not good. So, if it's safe here to stay until travel conditions improve. Just like the kids at school, we recommend them stay at school until travel conditions improve. But I guess if you leave at your own discretion, I guess you're on your own. So I don't know how you put that in official minutes and writing.
Rochelle knows how to do that.
Somebody does.
Well, kind of the reason it came up a little bit again for me was I was talking to one of the major banks in the area, and it was that day, and he said to me, I said to him, how do you guys handle that? And he said, one time we sent the employees home, somebody got in an accident, and we actually got sued for sending them home. So I said, so what's your policy now? He said, we stay, and if they want to go home, they can go home, he says. But we're not, kind of what you just said.
Yeah, closing the courthouse to the public is one thing, and sending people home is another, right?
Yeah.
So we're not inviting people in because it's closed. We're also not saying, yeah, go have fun out in the snowstorm.
I think the main point, we don't want to promote people driving.
Yeah.
Let me go pay my ticket today in the blizzard. But as far as personal, we have people in town that could probably get here where other employees absolutely not, so it's, can we maintain being open? But yeah, I wouldn't recommend saying you have to come in or you have to leave now.
Any other comments?
I support the idea of closing it to the public so people aren't coming out to pay a ticket or get a passport because they want to get out of weather like this. But I struggle with the policy that was presented in that employees go home and are paid for the rest of the day. And I think department heads can decide if they need to send their employees home or if there's paperwork they can get done without the public coming in and disrupting and want to stay for the remainder of the day, I have no problem with that, and it's just at their discretion if they want to leave. But closing it to the public, I think, is a necessary first step.
Any other comments or questions, or how do you want to proceed with that? Do we need a motion for something, or?
Well, I kind of go along with Jack's thoughts.
We're gonna come back to this in a minute. It is 8:51. We'll go to department heads. Let's start with Andre. Go on.
Sure, so the housing study is currently going on right now. Community foundation grants are getting scored, so next few weeks we should have that information. I'm working with O'Brien County's Economic Development Director. We are going to create a entrepreneurship workshop for people looking to start a new business and hopefully get that hosted sometime this year, so be on the lookout for that. That's all I have.
Okay. Don?
Last Friday, the sheriff and I joined AG Bird at the school and spoke at the assembly. That went well. Yesterday I met with Atlas regarding them coming in and talking to people who are in jail, possibly helping them with avoiding substances while we have them in the jail, hopefully to get them committed to staying sober when they get released. Beth from Sioux County was here before Christmas to help get our collections program up and going, so that's very exciting. And that's about it.
Okay. Nick?
So working through the claims process for the Destination Iowa grant, trying to get our reimbursement for that, because our project is pretty well completed. We have our annual Trout Fest event coming up on February 7th. It'll be the first Saturday in February. Usually a really good turnout for that. People been out catching some fish, so have some bags turned in. Kind of working on some equipment issues that we were having, stuff that we didn't have time to look at last year through the busy season, so we'll get things kind of out there, and then budget.
Okay. Sandy?
Well, we finished the year at 602 ambulance calls, runs. So we were up from last year a little bit. And I just wanted to thank the board. You'll get my complete report, but I just wanted to really thank the board for allowing me to do the opiate funding. We actually got to put it into play, and everything that we had asked for, requested, we actually used on one call. So I thank you guys again for trusting me to put that together. That rapid response really worked out really, really well. Honestly, very nice. So thank you.
Okay. Keith?
It's fairly slow in our office there this month. We've had some snow work to be done on the weekends and things like that, but otherwise it's been pretty mild weather so far. The I-15 bridge, that's the one down there by Poet that we've been working through the payment process. We are going to advertise that bridge in February. It's almost over the finish line at FEMA, but it's far enough along that I'm comfortable advertising it. The CHVP grant on that bridge down south of town on Pierce, still waiting on information on that from the feds. Zoning wise, we have a variance request for another solar array. This will be our third solar array variance request that we've done this year. Started in 2025. This one's up on Highway 9, just west of, or a couple miles west of Northwest Boulevard. Other than that, we're working on budget as well, gearing things up, and working on in-house designs for some of the projects this coming summer.
Kevin?
We got our dispatch hired, and that was an easy hire. The one that resigned wanted to come back, so we just kind of let her come back, and she just jumped in where she left off, so that was kind of nice. And I have two almost brand new overhead door commercial grade garage door openers. and I'm not sure what to do with them. I reached out to Nick and Keith. Keith never answered back. To see if anybody, if in the county needed them at all. So I'm not sure, if nobody in the county needs them, not sure what you want me to do with them, but they're almost brand new, so.
Okay.
Bid process.
Maybe worth holding on to and for the storage building or selling, possibly.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
Corey?
Working on some training opportunities for hazmat ops, hazmat refreshers. Working with the college there at NCC, they have them scheduled. I'm just confirming that. Also training opportunities for more of a county-based meeting slash informational. So getting like a speaker maybe yearly or biannually, whatever. I don't want to overwhelm them. Seems like we take up enough volunteer time for training, but just trying to get that. Ochin reached out and said they would host the first one here. So hopefully, first week in March, we'll have all the fire departments. I'll invite EMS and sheriff's offices that want to join for scene preservation with the fire marshal. So that'd be kind of the first one. Other ones we'll work on is confined space and maybe the railroad, or get those relationships based before anything actually happens. Do some exercises.
Reg?
Just the normal, trying to keep the snow clean, and we don't have any, that's a plus at the moment, but yeah, just normal, I guess, upkeep. So.
Okay. Sheila?
We're busy with documents and a lot of people coming in for a hunting and fishing license since their old ones expired on the 10th, so keeping us busy.
Becky?
Well, we got through December, that's when a lot of our big renewals come through, so we got most of those all done. Tax payments are starting to come in already for the year, so they're due in March, but people are jumping the gun on that. And Sarah's saying they do a drive test, so I'm staying busy there.
Okay. Rochelle?
Working on budgets, got the valuation report submitted. We're having a special election on March 3rd. The school's having their special election, so we're busy getting geared up for that. So if you know of any snowbirds that want a ballot, have them call me, because they have to fill out a request form. And that takes time, in the mail. Got notification that if you mail something, one day could take 1 to 2 days before it's postmarked and out of here, so. It's a little stressful, but yeah, I'm just working on budgets and getting them done.
Anything else? Any questions or anything from you guys? If not, I don't know who provided the treats.
Becky did.
Becky.
Had a good turnout from department heads. Either we've got the right chair in place or we've.
Oh, it's gotta be.
Or maybe Becky.
They wanna know what I'm gonna say.
Or maybe Becky needs to take treats every month.
They don't trust me. All right, help yourself there. Go back, I guess we can go back to the discuss closing of the courthouse. You wanna have an official motion on something, or what do you wanna do there?
They go home and do what they pay, regular pay, or they get sick time,
Well, I'm not sure. Any other thoughts? Jason?
The policy, sample policy presented by Jack, it says regular pay.
Kind of what your thoughts are, close the courthouse, and anybody that wants to go home, go home.
And they need to take personal time or. I don't know if we could reword sick time to include inclement weather or.
I don't feel like they're gonna abuse, like, oh, the court's supposed to go home. They're gonna go home because it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
One time I worked in Worthington and we did not close, and it was bad. I couldn't see for the whole ride home. So I feel like people are not gonna abuse it. But I also feel like if they're staying here, then they can't get home and they don't have a place to stay, then they're gonna stay at the hotel or stay overnight in the courthouse too, so.
That is something we can see if they are abusing it, then we can always change.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't see that happening.
No.
there's not many,
And one thought, if you do close the courthouse, there's always gonna be people that are gonna be driving in to do their courthouse business. And even though they're driving in a bad environment, they're gonna drive in anyway. If you say, advise no travel, it's like putting a rose closed sign up. They're gonna come out anyway. And when they get here, if the courthouse is closed, then they're back on the road again for nothing, so that's just one thought about closing it.
Yeah, to add to that, I mean, it's hard to get to everybody, you know, we can put it on Facebook all day, but not everybody's on that. I'm gonna make a huge push for the Alert Iowa, so we'll put that message out there on that, so people get on their phones. But again, I'm not gonna reach 100% of people, you know.
And I'm not picking on anybody, but it's the older generation.
for sure. The one that should have all day to do with it.
Handicap sponsor for.
What do you wanna do? You wanna just leave it as is? You wanna change anything?
The police department has discretion.
So does that mean, what about closing the courthouse? What is that? I mean, usually I talk to Mike O'Connor, and if he thinks, and I talk to the chair, whoever the chair is, and I talk to them and what they think, and, you know, now I'll talk to Corey as well. But I just need to know what you want from me going forward, I guess.
I just don't want to tell anybody they have to go home. Because then that puts us on the hook.
We base our decisions off of school. School's closing tomorrow today, good weather. Courthouse logically is close enough. If they're getting out early, the school's looking for the best interest of everybody, so that's a good baseline for us to go off of.
I agree to some extent, but busing is far different than.
But that's what I'm saying, it's not.
Public getting here or
Absolutely,
employees
yes,
getting
you
here.
know, but if, the school's looking at releasing early, then it might be, okay, let's start thinking about, what we wanna do here.
I'm with Jason. I don't agree with the school deal because they close some days when the sun's shining.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can give you the best awareness, like I say, best awareness that I know when that stuff happens, and National Weather Service is giving us good insight. That day, for example, we were telling them things that they could not see on radar. They say it shouldn't last too long, but it ended up lasting 3 to 4 hours of a whiteout with brief periods of clarity. So, I mean, just being in contact, I can give you the best.
What time did you guys close that other day, that last time?
It was 3.
And that was probably the worst time you could go. You know, Lindsay waited till 4:30 and she drove home with Claire, so. I think we should maybe just go with Mike and you and me and Corey and we can come to a decision. If that's.
Sounds good.
That's okay with you guys?
Okay.
How does
Does
that,
that? Yeah,
how
I
does that
know,
address
I know.
pay and
Yeah, it does.
leave?
I guess I don't agree with the secondary roads poles or policy. I don't agree with that because then we know it's bad.
I didn't think of it till this morning. Is there any requirements for like clerk of court's office or any guidance as to what the state expects for access or?
I think they usually follow what we do, and I'm not for sure if they got to take vacation or not. I don't know how that works. But they usually try to follow the courthouse. But then they also get days off that we don't get off, so.
That day that we took off, they stayed till 4:30. Well, depends how it works for them, I guess.
What do you think?
I'll make a motion to update our previous approach that when no travel is advised, secondary roads pull the plows, or through advice from EM, Emergency Management, that the courthouse would be closed to the public due to inclement weather. Each office and department head can determine if and when employees can leave.
I don't know if I got it all. Update previous policy. When no travel is advised, close the courthouse to the public, and each official or department head determines if the employee can leave safely, or something to that effect. Or
Office, department head, and employees can determine
when and if employees should leave.
But does that put us on the hook if something happens to that employee when they go home? I don't know.
I believe that is the employees deciding when to leave. If they're wanting pay for being gone, then they're taking personal time.
As long as we're not saying employees, you gotta get out of here, we gotta close. If you're saying, hey, if you feel comfortable to drive home, go ahead, if not, hang out.
Yeah, especially the ones that have to go pick up children, right? I mean, if it's gonna close early, buses aren't running until it's definitely safe, and you're in town, they're not gonna run city buses and rural buses separately. Everything will go together. So, if you have children at school, we'll get them and go home at that point. If it's safe on you, that's your discretion.
So they have to take sick time? If they go
If-
home?
if you-
Courthouse closes?
Leave outside of normal courthouse hours, and if you choose to leave, personal time would be available.
Maybe we have to update our handbook. Maybe we can add, I don't know, a couple days of snow time or snow leave. We're on Jack's radar to update our personnel policy in 2026. So I don't know when that will happen, but it's, I don't know, something to consider, I guess. I
have
don't
a
know.
motion, do I have support?
Second.
Motion, I have support, Roy. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
This has been previously approved, but we can't find a signed copy.
So did that motion include the paid aspect of it too, or your motion didn't?
Include
What,
what?
using personal time, or, is that was not part of the
Yeah,
motion?
their discretion.
Okay, discuss abandoned vehicles at the ambulance garage. Sandy must have had to leave, but I think we can discuss it.
We have Nick at 9 on the back
Oh,
of
I'm
the
sorry.
agenda.
Okay, hurry up, Nick.
What do you meant, Nick?
Which one? The one that wants to be here, or the one that doesn't want to be here?
That comment could be construed as he's the most efficient person I know.
Efficient? I do.
Here, you can have this one, I got.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here today for the annual report of the Osceola County Council. Okay, for the annual report for the Conservation Board for a period July 1st, 2024 to June 30th of 2025. If you open up on the first page, you will see our list of board members that we have currently. Last, I guess, calendar year, Wade Ellabrook was our chairperson. We held 12 meetings over the course of the fiscal year. There was no special meetings. Our staff, on the next page, everybody's kind of stayed the same there. Get into the nuts and bolts of it. Got probably the biggest, or the big projects that we completed throughout the year. So the first one you look, would be the completion of the Willow Creek Campground Expansion Project. The lion's share of that work was actually completed before the start of this fiscal year, but the like campground portion of it did not get completed until the end of July of 2024, so it counts. And then after, I guess, that contract work was done, we got the pad prepared and everything and started doing the construction of the cabin. Worked on the cabin pretty diligently from, I would say, the first part of September up until we finally put the finishing touches on it in June. And I think 2 days later, we had it rented out for about 5 days. Hawkeye Point, we didn't have a lot of big projects that went on at Hawkeye Point. The majority of this fiscal year's process was coming up with the idea and trying to find the funding sources and lining up contractors to get the silo painted like near corn. That project was actually completed in September. And then I guess the other thing that is worth mentioning would be the amount of wind, like the flooding that we experienced towards the middle to latter part of the previous summer. And then the amount of windstorms that we had this past year. It seemed like we were always going someplace to pick up trees and or fix something that a tree fell on. So we did spend a good amount of time picking up trees.
You can take a picture of the ear of corn,
No,
the sidewalk.
that'll be next year.
Oh, okay.
That's something you can look forward to.
Oh, okay.
Environmental education, we've got our big programs that we do pretty much on an annual basis. Like I said, our Trout Fest event that we have in the winter, where cars will be lined up from Highway 9 all the way up to the maintenance building, and pretty much everywhere you can stuff a car at Willow Creek, there'll be a car and somebody on the ice, kids out having a good time, and ice skating and slipping on the ice. And, it's a good program, even if you don't necessarily like to ice fish. It's fun to come out and see and just see everybody. And then generally we have, I like to think we have the best free hot dogs in the county. So, then our outdoor adventure night that we hold every fall, where again, you get a bunch of families out there that might not necessarily have the opportunity to experience a lot of the things that we do, some axe throwing and throwing atlatls and canoe and kayaking and fishing. So if you move on to the next page, we've got our list of properties and kind of what their landscape and things are. The one that was just recently donated to us is not on this list. It will get added next year. I'm going to go to the habitat work. So Conservation Board plants 10 food plots on an annual basis to provide food and cover throughout the wildlife throughout the year. We provided after planting care on around 49 acres of restored prairie. That is stuff that we are working on getting returned to its native prairie habitat. Conservation Board employees burned 102 acres of grass in the spring of 2025. It was a kind of an interesting year because it started out extremely dry. And then I will say that we had 3 wildfires at county areas throughout the last fiscal year. The Sibley Double Barrows actually burned in like January on a day not unlike today, where it was just super dry and somehow it got started. And Conservation Board staff responded to that and helped the Sibley Fire Department put that one out. And then Devil's Ridge, the whole thing burned last spring. That was, I think, on a Saturday or Sunday. Wasman Slough burned, and then I guess I forgot, the Oshiden Mound also burned, I think, twice, like 2 Saturdays in a row. So it kind of bonus acres, if you will, for us. And then we'll go down to some revenue stuff. So Willow Creek Campground expanded from 5 sites to 17 during the last fiscal year. Our sites rent for either $20 or $25 a night, depending on whether or not they contain sewer. The past fiscal year, the Conservation Board received $11,715 in camping revenue from Willow Creek County Park. This is up considerably from $1,902 the previous fiscal year, because we had the campground closed a good majority of the time for the project. I believe, if my memory serves me right, we're already, like this fiscal year, up to $12,000 in revenue from just the campsites at Willow Creek. So, and we'll get our seasonal sites on, and you get a good chunk of money going from that too. So, we also made $693 in cabin rentals, despite it only being open the last 2 weeks of the fiscal year. We collected $9,765 in camping fees from Hawkeye Point, which was up from roughly $6,500 the year before. And the lodge continues to actually just continue to get busier and busier. The last fiscal year, we were up to $1,875 in lodge rentals, up from $1,650 the previous year. So, and there's a handful of groups that use like the lodge and the classroom that we have, and we don't charge them for it. So if they're providing some sort of educational opportunity, such as the Iowa State University Extension, they run some of their manure management programs and stuff like that out of the classroom, or if we have church groups or Boy Scouts or those types of people, we let them use the lodge for free. So there is 2024-2025 annual report.
Maybe some sort of camping site giveaway for this year, this summer? Wasn't there some sort of contest or something on Facebook to get, or was it just your choice of camping site? Am I making something entirely up?
I don't remember giving anything away for free.
Okay.
They sold
You do drawings
seasonal.
for the seasonal sites?
Yeah, we did drawings for seasonal sites.
Drawing
Yeah.
to select which site.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't understanding that.
That wasn't free, that was just for the site.
Yep, for the sites. So, and the seasonal sites seem to go over really, really well. We're planning on doing that again this upcoming year. So,
Any other questions for Nick? We need to approve his report.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
so-
He just presents it.
got a couple other things here.
Yeah, we need to approve.
Okay, if there's no other questions on the annual report, consider approval of 2026 weed commissioner certification.
All right, this just certifies that I will be the weed commissioner for 2026.
What's that?
You have to go back? or-
Well, we got it. This
So
is
that's
still
our
at 9
minute.
o'clock, yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
We need a motion for that?
Mhm.
I'll take a motion to approve the commissioner certification.
Make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Warren, support by the board to approve weed commissioner certification. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Do you need this down back?
Consider the reappointment of Ann Byers
Jerry
to
needs to sign that.
conservation. I do.
Yeah, please.
So just to bring it to your attention, Ann Byers, her term, I guess her 5-year term on the Conservation Board expired in December. She has expressed a willingness to serve another term. I believe, according to the Conservation Board bylaws, this will be her last term of eligibility as a Conservation Board member. She's very knowledgeable, I guess, due to her career path. She works in the NRCS office as the district conservationist or resource conservationist or something, some fancy title, where she helps people enroll private acres into habitat. She's also, I believe, the president of the Osceola County Pheasant Forever chapter. And her hobbies are pretty much being outside.
I'll make a motion to reappoint her.
And offer support to that motion.
Motion for Schultz to support the commissioner to reappoint Ann Byers. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. Yeah, great day.
Discussed abandoned vehicles at the ambulance garage.
Where are these abandoned vehicles from?
Kevin's.
Drag them in, or?
Well, they can come from all over, but they get left on the side of the road, we have to have them towed somewhere. If they're in an accident, they gotta get towed somewhere, so, yeah, so.
How many down there?
There were three, one's gone now, so there's two of them right now.
How long have they been there?
A month or so maybe. But can I remind you, that has always been
Yes.
a impound yard.
Yep.
So I have no idea what the problem is now.
I don't either.
And if,
I don't.
and if you don't want them there,
Where are you gonna put them?
where do you want them?
People eventually come and get them, right?
Eventually, and, if they don't, we just do an abandoned vehicle procedure on them, we call a junkyard and they come and get them, so.
Would it be something to think about to charge or not? Or wouldn't you ever collect anything?
Well, the thing is, these vehicles are junk.
Yeah, I know.
So if you put a daily storage fee on them, and it gets to be so high, the owners will never come and get them.
Yeah.
And they'll never get paid.
Well, like I said, and that's part of,
When we had one towed there for somebody that's been arrested, that's been in jail, and then we just put a $20,
okay,
just a $20 fee on it, storage fee, just whether it's for an hour or a week or a month, so.
And you put the tow charge on it too, don't you?
Yes, we don't, they pay the tow charge before they can get it out.
yeah, I agree with you, Kevin, it's not just an ambulance garage, you guys have always had it.
Yeah, it's been a totally, our impound yard for as long as we've had it, so.
But impound is far different than just an accident that vehicle's left sit there. Shouldn't it be insurance's responsibility to remove the vehicle?
They would pay it out of
The one's gone now. because
Yeah,
the
if other
insurance
sites,
company's
if other sites charge, I don't understand why this gets used free.
That might be something to think about, charging. Are these, with most of these vehicles, do they have insurance on them, or? You know, when they were out to Jedlo's, the Allie had a wreck, my daughter had a wreck one time, and then there was a fee for leaving that car set there.
Yeah.
And my insurance picked up the fee.
Yeah, Jedlo wanted them out there because of that. He
Yeah.
can charge his enormous fee to the insurance company because he knew he was gonna get the money.
And I'm not saying it needs to be an enormous fee, but if other places are charging a fee, I don't know why publicly owned ground should just be used free of charge or without that same approach.
Who makes the decision on where they go there? Why don't Jedlo just take them to his place?
We don't have a Jedlo one.
Papic now, and they don't
And Pappy's, they don't
tow.
tow, so.
Oh, they don't tow, okay, I see.
How about Derek Peterson? He's got enough
Well,
tow, didn't he?
why those two wrecked ones are there now is because Derek either got a new wrecker or his was out of service at the time, and so we couldn't use him. So we had to use Rosenboom from Sheldon, and to save him time and to save our deputies time, we just had him tow them there instead of tow one to Sheldon, come back, get another one, bring it down to Sheldon. So more than likely, having wrecked vehicles there isn't gonna happen very often.
And wrecked vehicles, insurance will pay them.
Yeah, maybe.
So, yeah, I hadn't considered the deputy's time, that's a great point, Kevin, but, so then, as a temporary site, or, first day, no charge, so that they can get the site cleared and moved, and if they wanna come back the next day and bring it to their yard, or, that's on them, but.
So you wanna put a fee on it?
Well, I would have no idea how to bill an insurance company.
Yeah.
Who would you bill? You know, we get insurance information if they have insurance, you know, when we do the accident report. But just because they give an insurance company name.
But whoever's transporting it, the records would know, they're gonna do it if they bring it to their yard. I think there'd be a way if that entity gets charged the 2nd through the 30th day and more for the 31st through the 60th day, or incentivize them to move it. I don't know if it's a decision that we can or should make today, but I would be in favor of starting some sort of policy to
Okay.
charge. But yeah, you're mentioning the deputy's time and on site really carries a lot of weight, and so I would be in favor of allowing a time period to processing the site to be quick, but then it doesn't just get set on that property and left to languish.
Then who would the sheriff's office then bill the insurance company and keep track of how many days are there, or how does that, who's gonna do that? That's something to think about too.
Yeah, no, that needs to be addressed in policy.
So,
Well, let's, how about we look into it a little more, see what it's gonna take.
And I think
Maybe there won't be an issue. Like Kevin said, maybe, Derek will take them all from now
You
on.
know, like I said, I don't foresee a whole lot of accident vehicles being towed there. Because for the most part, they're gonna get towed to the tow company's facility because they want them so they can bill the insurance company. This was a different thing because of the time.
What about non-accident vehicles that you guys acquire, where do they go?
They go here. And them, we charge that $20 fee on it, so. But like I said, sometimes you can't collect that either. We're not getting the cream of the crop vehicles there. And if the tow bill and the storage fee is worth more than the vehicle, which they usually are, they don't come and get the car anymore, so.
On a quick side note, there's a trailer sitting on the dirt road. Been there for probably 2-3 weeks. Mile east of 59 on Chase Bag Road.
Okay.
Been sitting there for, it's probably a county road. It's a dirt road, but it's probably a hazard. It's sitting right in the middle of the road.
Just west of the Chase Bag?
No, from 59, come down the Chase Bag Road 1 mile, and then there's a dirt road that goes south.
Okay.
It's probably been there for 3-4 weeks, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Right in the road. Anyway, all right, let's check into that ambulance deal a little better, or the storage.
Well, basically what we do, we can't make money on them because the money we make comes with the state. So our goal is just to break even on them. So if we call a junk dealer, we let them know what the tow bill is and we'll tack on that extra $20 storage. And we can't make money on abandoned vehicles. We can't make money on it, or else that money's gotta go to the state. And I'm not gonna do all that work to get the money to the state.
More paperwork, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Any more discussion on abandoned vehicles? If not, consider approval of resolution number 8, 2526, updating ambulance rates. But can you do that with her not being here?
yeah, I mean, PCC gave her the rates. I think the only thing new on it was lift assist. I don't know if they previously charged for that, and standby. I don't think they previously charged for that either, if I can remember correctly from Sandy.
For the union, Jack never told me that I had to be here. Do you guys need me here for the union stuff? I mean,
I prefer it if you're available,
Yeah.
personally.
what time is that gonna be?
9:30, like a minute. So if you want, questions you want to ask her, or we can table it too.
What's that standby rate?
I think that's when they go to like the football games and stuff and stand by, or maybe at the fair or like derby stuff. She said they don't ever charge for lift assist, but sometimes they have to go to Ocheaton and stuff like that, right? Am I right? For lift assist, the ambulance?
Yeah.
They go to Ocheaton or whatever to lift somebody up and they don't charge. Well, I mean, we're paying employees.
And I believe they've shared that there are times that they'll advise transporting them to the hospital, but no, they just wanted to help up off the floor. So then I can see a good case for that and stand by for the fair and football, and concerns me a little bit, but
I was gonna say, they haven't raised their rates in a long time. have
No,
they?
not since 2018.
I guess motion to do it.
As presented then?
A motion
Approve resolution.
to resolution number 8.
Yeah.
Do I have support?
is there room for, no, I'll wait for support.
Motion on the table. Support. I'll support it. Support. Second, by Laurie.
My question would be, is there room for the standby to be waived if individuals are willing to volunteer for events like the fair or football, or if this forces us to charge those groups? 'Cause
Doesn't make any difference.
Your motion was as is, right?
Yeah.
Can we have a second? Commission?
You care if we put that on there?
I don't care. I guess it's voluntary, yeah.
Yeah.
I can set the charge.
So volunteer, that's fine.
So how do you want that motion?
How do you want me to change the wording of the resolution then?
I guess I'd like to talk to Sandy.
Would you-
Oh, just leave it alone.
All right, I have a motion and I have support. Mr. Schulte?
Aye.
Mr. Laurie?
Aye.
Mr. Manio?
I'll abstain.
Mr. DeBoer?
Aye.
Mr. Helmers votes aye. Motion carried. Consider donating Melvin ambulance. I know a little bit about this, so.
I think we need to act at 9:30.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Closed session, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's on the back.
Yeah, that's what's confusing you, I'm sorry. Yep, okay.
We have to call Jack.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go into closed session first and then I call him, I can do whatever you want me to do.
Make a motion to go in closed session.
Motion to go into closed session. Second. And I have support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are in closed session.
Closed session, I think it's a roll call, sorry.
What's that?
For going into closed session, I think it's a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Mr. Schulte?
Aye.
Mr. Warren?
Aye.
Mr. DeBoer?
Aye.
Mr. Baker?
Aye.
Mr. Helmers votes aye.